This is the Ezra Walk and Talk. We are talking Ryan Garcia leaving Joe Goosen, not Dan Goosen, leaving Joe Goosen, and looking for a new trainer. I pointed out warning signs for Ryan Garcia going forward, and one of them was him getting rid of Joe Goosen. Ryan Garcia, this early in his career, has had multiple trainer switches, and at some point, you got to realize maybe it's not them, it's you. It's a hard blow for a fighter to lose his undefeated record. I understand that. But you can't blame everyone else. And just because it wasn't the result you wanted doesn't mean that you weren't heading in the right direction. The last thing Ryan Garcia needs right now is a lot of change and rebuild. I thought that him and Joe Goosen were kind of working on the right things. They were heading in the right direction, and even though they didn't get the result they wanted, I thought Joe Goosen did have the right game plan, and that Ryan really got out of the game plan. It wasn't Joe Goosen that made you punch from the wrong range. It wasn't Joe Goosen that make you not be patient. It was you. And Joe Goosen had the right plan. But because these fighters can't deal with the result of that it's on them, that they're the reason they lost, and they have to come up with an excuse, right? Because they're not mentally strong enough to accept defeat. Not mentally strong enough to accept that it was their fault, right? It was accept that they were the one that didn't perform to the level. They have to find a scapegoat. It's a mental thing. And his scapegoat is Joe Goosen. Now, not saying that no matter what Ryan chooses next is going to be a disaster, it's not going to work out. It's just warning signs on just the mentality and how these things usually play out. The things that boxing and these storylines in sports usually repeat themselves over and over and over again. And you can find a million examples of guys that early in their career switch their trainer a lot and lose a fight, and then they fire the trainer, and then they're constantly trying to be rebuilt by new trainers. You can't be rebuilt over and over again, okay? You need consistency. Things that happen to guys in the NBA and the NFL, and the reason why a lot of rookies don't ever settle into the league is because they're on bad teams, and those teams never have a consistent head coach, right? They never have a consistent locker room. They never have a consistent mentality, right? They have to constantly rebuild, and the new guy doing new things, and he has a new idea and a new game plan for everyone else. And that's what Ryan's getting to the point now. Now, another thing with Ryan is he gonna he got rid of Joe Goosen, but he needs to get rid of his family that's in his corner. The huge thing that stood out to me was his brother was the one that checked Tank's raps before the fight. He was the one to make sure that the raps were correct and they were okay with them. And that's a complete joke because his brother doesn't have any experience doing that. And every guy that you see does that is a guy that's been in the game for years and knows all the tricks and knows what to look out for. And the way Ryan and them are doing is just like his buddies and his friends and family are doing everything. And sure, Joe Goosen was trying to help him out, trying to do things, but there's only so much you can do if people want to have control of what's going on. And is Ryan going to give up control? So say if he does leave Joe Goosen, but he goes to a guy, and the name I keep saying is Teddy Atlas. Now, the reason why I'm saying Teddy Atlas, I'm not saying he's the greatest trainer in the world, but what I am saying about him is he's a man that demands control. He's not a man to play around and do nonsense and do things just for celebrity status, or do things for just to be a part of something. He's not going to do that. He's going to want it his way. And Ryan really does need someone that's going to have it his way. And Teddy Atlas is going to kick out all the nonsense that's happening in Ryan's corner. Like I said, I think he should have kept Joe. I think Joe was heading in the right direction. I like the things that I was seeing with him. Doesn't mean the next thing's going to be a disaster, but like I said, warning signs. Warning signs in someone's career. We have to see what Ryan's going to do going forward, but I don't like the sense of direction, and I don't like that the nonchalantness they have with their training. I don't like it. Deuces.